What's going on there, YouTube? And welcome back to another comic book review. This time, we are going to continue our coverage over the Green Lantern landscape in the DC Rebirth era. This time, we are going to pick back up with Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps with a story called A Search for Hope. And this picks up after our previous Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps video we did a while back, where after Hal Jordan was brought back to life, he was told to find hope, that the universe needs hope once again, where we all know what that means. He has to find the Blue Lanterns. And so guys, I do hope you enjoyed today's video, because this storyline does bring back the Blue Lanterns into the DC Rebirth era. Now we pick up with today's video with this character named Space Cabbie. Now Space Cabbie is this character who is basically a guy who steals stuff, but also he can be a great informant for people, meaning that if you need information, this man is the guy to go to. Now the reason why we pick up with him is because Guy Gardner went out into space looking for him, because Guy Gardner is looking for information on a yellow lantern. The question is, why, if the green and the yellow lanterns are working together now? This is where we pick up on Mogo, the living planet that is also a Green Lantern. Now we pick up on this planet and see that John Stewart and Soranik establishing that the green and yellow lanterns are going to be working together. Each Green Lantern will be partnered up with the Yellow Lantern since both groups' numbers are extremely low right now. And so this will lead to them going out and hunting down Yellow Lanterns who deny the idea of working alongside with the Green Lanterns. But when they do get captured, they will have a choice to join the Green Lanterns or to be locked up. We pick up with Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner, where we see them going on a mission to find hope. Remember, in one of our previous videos, Hal was told to find hope by Abin Sur in the afterlife of the Green Lanterns. And so the two guardians that are left in the universe, Sade and Ganthet, told Hal to go to this planet, that this planet could lead them to hope, meaning for them to go look for the Blue Lanterns who represent hope. Now Hal brought Kyle because he is the White Lantern and he can connect to all of the different emotions of the lanterns. And so we see him locate hope on this doomed planet only to run into a monster. But picking back up on Mogo, we pick up with John Stewart and Soranik greeting Space Cabbie, and we learn why Guy Gardner went out there looking for him, where we learn that Space Cabbie has information on different Yellow Lanterns locations, the ones who deny joining the newly formed Green and Yellow Lantern Corps. And so John and Soranik are going to use this information to find these missing Yellow Lanterns and give them a choice to join or be thrown in jail. Now we jump back over to Hal and Kyle, where we see them fighting these monsters, but still looking for hope, a Blue Lantern. And when they keep looking and trying to fend for themselves, that is when they find Saint Walker, the Blue Lantern, bringing the Blue Lanterns back into the picture again, where we see Saint Walker trying to defeat this monster by himself. Now getting back to Mogo, we see the Lanterns getting their assignments on targets to go after, bringing in these rogue Yellow Lanterns. Except when everyone is getting their assignments, that is when John realized that Guy Gardner is missing. And when he asks his Green Lantern ring to locate Guy, his ring tells him the location is unknown, telling him that Guy Gardner is now out in space and trying to do something crazy by himself. This is where we learn that Guy Gardner went out looking for a Yellow Lantern on a planet called Leap, where he is looking for someone. And we learn the reason why John cannot locate Guy is because Guy left his ring behind and then stole a Space Cabbie's car to get to this planet. And so we see Guy Gardner just interrogating a random alien to get information out of him. Picking back up with St. Walker, Hal Jordan, and Kyle Rayner, we pick up with them trying to fight this creature on this planet that is trying to kill any kind of hope for this world. Now, while they're trying to fight this creature is able to capture both Hal and Kyle. Like I said, this creature's goal is to kill all kinds of hope in a person or even a planet. And so we see this creature begin to torture Hal and Kyle to kill their hope by showing them everything they wish to have one day, but then showing them all the horrible things they have done in the past or will do in the future. And when this creature thinks that it is winning, you have St. Walker state that what the creature is doing really is giving both Kyle and Hal the inspiration to win. Of course, with that inspiration, they were able to get rid of the creature and win. Now this leads to Hal and Kyle telling St. Walker about how he is needed back on Mogo to speak to Ganthet and Sade, except that is when they get a call from Kilowog that Guy Gardner is missing. And so you have Hal, Kyle, and St. Walker rush back to Mogo because now they have to find Guy Gardner before something happens to him. Now this is where we learn why Guy Gardner went to the planet Heat for, because he was looking for the Yellow Lantern Arkillo. Now Arkillo has this rep where he is one of the toughest fighters in the Sinestro Corp. And so right now Guy Gardner wants to fight him to prove that he is tougher and to bring in Arkillo back to Mogo. But picking back up with the Green and Yellow Lantern teams as they're going around capturing rogue Yellow Lanterns being the main goal at the moment, except while the teams are out there doing their thing, you have John and Soranik find out from Space Cabbie where Guy Gardner went to and try to go save his life. But getting back into the fight between Guy Gardner and Arkillo, we see how strong Arkillo is because of one single punch. Guy Gardner is on the ground. But this is where we learn a little bit of the origin of Guy Gardner, where we learn that when he was younger, his dad used to physically abuse him. And so with that physical abuse in his life, he gained a mentality to not let anyone beat him down and not to give up either. And this leads to the point where he has to prove that he can do this, that he can be the one to take down Arkillo. And so you have Guy Gardner get back up to fight Arkillo, where it does look like this could end either way. Now John Stewart and Soranik do arrive at the planet and they see this fight going down. But you have John tell Soranik that Guy has to do this himself. He wanted this fight and he has to be the one to end this fight himself. And so the fight goes back and forth, and while this fight is going on, Guy keeps having flashbacks to his dad abusing him. This only pumps him up even more. And at the end of the fight, Guy Gardner wins. Except after winning the fight, you have Soranik Ring tell her and John that Guy Gardner is now in critical condition and could die soon. Now we jump back over to Mogo, where you have John Stewart and Soranik take Arkillo to prison because he was a rogue Yellow Lantern. Also to show the other rogue Yellow Lanterns that their best fighter has been captured and put away. But we also learned that Guy Gardner is okay, that he is just recovering. Like we knew nothing too serious was going to happen to Guy Gardner. They need him around for future storylines down the road. But we pick up with one of my favorite moments in this book, a conversation between Kyle and Hal. And this is where you have Hal tell Kyle that he is the best lantern out of all of them. To Hal, when he sees Kyle, he sees the greatest lantern out of all the lanterns in the universe because he is the White Lantern. Hal tells him that he knows Kyle looks up for him for inspiration when it comes to being a Green Lantern. But you have Hal basically tell Kyle that he passed the level of being a Green Lantern. He is the White Lantern, the best lantern in the universe. it's Hal telling Kyle that, dude, you can stop looking at me as a role model now. Now this is where we pick up with Hal and Kyle meeting up with St. Walker, Sade, and Ganthet, where we learn that their goal is to bring back the Blue Lanterns because right now the universe needs hope and St. Walker cannot do it alone. And so their goal is to use Kyle, who is the White Lantern and can tap into all of the different emotions of the emotion spectrum, and with him they might have a chance to revive the Blue Lantern Corps. Now this was in the beginning of the DC Rebirth era, meaning that all of the stories were leading up to Doomsday Clock, the story where the DC Universe fought against Dr. Manhattan. But Sade and Ganthet said another reason why they are doing this is to prepare them for something big down the road, of course being Dr. Manhattan. Except while they're trying to achieve their goal, something blocks them from achieving their goal. After all of the lighting and screaming they were doing, we see that Kyle Rayner is no longer the White Lantern, that he is just Kyle Rayner from Earth again. Something so powerful stopped the White Lantern from bringing back the Blue Lantern Corps. But we also see that the White Lantern ring splits apart into other Lantern Corps rings. So a new green, red, blue, yellow, indigo, pink rings were made and left to find a new host. And so there's no longer a White Lantern in the DC universe. Now the newly made Green Lantern ring stayed behind. And the reason why is because it attaches to Kyle Rayner, making him a Green Lantern once again after losing the powers of the White Lanterns. And this is where we are going to end today's video. And so guys, please leave me a like down below and also subscribe for more comic book videos like this in the near future. Also, any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'm out of here and I will see you on the next comic book video. Later, guys.